towards Sacramento area in that, and they're in the process of looking for a lender. They've got everything together as far as their finances are concerned, and that we're finding the same thing. Is if you get further out of this area, you're going to find opportunities like that.
There's a limitation too to how many units there, how many different loans they can have, right?
I think the Fannie Freddie rule is, I think it's
5?
eight. I think
Eight?
it's eight properties. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that.
Yeah, and get back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
and
get back
there's,
to you on that.
every bank, isn't it true that every bank has kind of their own formula for that? Some it's 4 properties, other it's 8, maybe
Yeah,
it's
there's
10.
general Fannie Freddie regulations, and then different banks have different overrides or cutting back on the Fannie Freddie regulations.
You know, getting back to how your client there was able to find that property, you know, I saw an article this week on Bloomberg that talks about private equity has too much money to spend on homes. And the article is about all these hedge funds and other syndications that are being put together, raising literally billions of dollars with the intent to go out and buy foreclosure property or to buy in bulk from the banks. And the article says there's approximately $6 billion committed to buy all these foreclosure and or REO properties, but they've only been able to identify about $2 billion worth of homes that are available. So
What are they going to do with the rest of the money?
well, I guess they're going to have to give it back, or maybe it's
Oh,
committed
yeah,
but not
that-
funded.
Good luck on that one.
They'll leave it with
Good luck on that
Madoff
one.
until they find more.
Yeah,
properties.
yeah, exactly. Okay, guys and gals, here, quick little special promotion here. The group War is supposed to be playing at Moore's Riverboat, which is located down the street from the Lighthouse, on June 24th at 5 p.m. And each week we're giving away a little trivia contest, and the first person with the correct answer wins 2 free tickets. So here's this week's question. This is an easy one. What game introduced in the 1960s might you have heard from the person spinning the arrow, right foot red or left foot yellow? The first caller with the correct answer is going to win 2 free tickets to War at Moore's Riverboat. Call 888-912-1190 and make sure to include your email address, your name, and speak slowly and spell out each letter if you want to win. We're going to cut to our second commercial break, and here's the second trivia question. Again, the theme is, she blinded me with science. Well, no, just science. Okay. You guys don't remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I thought I was alone here in this world. Okay, the word SCUBA is an acronym for what? Right? It actually stands for something. The first 3 callers with the correct answer are going to win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Again, their website, check them out, lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, your email address, and again, remember to speak slowly and spell out your information 1 letter at a time, very slowly, please. Some people spell it out, but they go so quickly, I have to listen to it about 6 times. And we'll be right back. Okay.
Let's see if we can meet a U-boat association. SCUBA. What does SCUBA stand for?
I used to know it.
I know it. I knew it
Used
before.
to know
I
it.
thought, Robert, you probably knew it one time.
No, I did know it at one time.
Hawaii sailing.
No, the other answer is Twister.
Yes.
Yeah, Twister, which is especially fun to
Wasn't it?
play in the nude.
Wait a minute, what?
Twister, the game that's especially fun to play in the
This is a family show, remember,
nude.
please.
Or how to watch people play. in the nude.
Yes.
Let's see what-
Do you have a business card?
I do.
Oh, love it. Interesting though, on the property it was in Lodi?
Stockton.
I'm surprised though, was it on the market, I mean, MLS, and it was with the broker?
All I know is she did it through Redfin, so it must have been on the market.
It's
And I
surprising.
Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn and Robert Schiff and our special guest, Don Fitzpatrick. First of all, let's go to this special promotion. The group War playing at Moore's Riverboat. We asked this trivia question: what was the game it was introduced in the 1960s? Might you have heard from the person spinning the arrow? Right foot red or left foot yellow? Everyone, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Twister. That is correct. And Mark, you made a comment off the air.
Oh, yeah, you know, especially fun to watch people play that game in the nude.
And how often did you do that? Oh, you've heard, yeah.
Is that you're watching them play it and you're in the nude, or they're playing?
Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing, sponsored by Pacific Trade Exchange, your best in barter exchange. This is the show where we present valuable information about real estate, the financial markets, and other economic business of the day. For those of you listening for the first time, here's our format. A few guys sitting around a bar having drinks without the drinks, talking business with you, the audience, listening in. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm delighted to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, and Brian Burke of Praxis Capital. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. That's right, we're giving away 9 vacations during this show. The vacations are sponsored by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. And the vacations are free. Their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. The website is lighthouse4fun.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511 and check out their new sports bar opening up May 1st. All right, now today's trivia theme is The Wizard of Oz. Remember? That'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Okay, our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. Quick reminder again, World Wraps in Corte Madera is still giving our listeners a free smoothie with purchase of a wrapper bowl if you mention the Best of Investing. Go there for lunch today, best wraps in town, and don't forget to mention the Best of Investing for your free smoothies. Now, today's special guest is Ken Winans, who is president of Winans International, one of California's most respected investment advisors, who also writes for Forbes magazine. In fact, his research is so good that Princeton University and Fidelity Investments pay him for his research. Ken, welcome to the Best of Investing, and you had a special honor recently. Tell our audience about that.
It was quite interesting. You're in your office one day and you find out that you have been nominated through Barron's to be part of their Best of Best Independent Investment Advisors Council. For you guys probably know that there's a big business to do in Sun Valley, Idaho every year, and Davos, Switzerland. So this is for investment advisors, that kind of conference. It was a lot of fun to go and hear what the survivors are doing, because it was kind of like the last group left standing after what happened in 2008.
What are the survivors
Yeah, I was
doing?
going to ask the same question,
You know,
really.
it's interesting because it's actually not a bad environment. I mean, you have the markets are doing well, bonds are doing well. REITs, real estate investment trusts, have been on a tear really for the last couple of years. The only area that everybody's kind of looking at right now is, gosh, municipal bonds. With what happened in Stockton, are there other
bankruptcies and
it is a bit like, because we get called all the time, what's the next shoe to come down? And by the
I
way,
heard Los Angeles.
well, and San Diego,
San Diego, you've been saying that for a
County
while.
and city. I know Edward's heard me talk about this for a while. Effectively, these cities are broke. And so it's how long will people keep giving them money to stay afloat? But when you start tinkering with things like, obviously, the November election, we know that our buddies in Sacramento have some real surprises in store for us on the ballot. But then on top of that as well, it's even things with the tax code. A lot of municipal bonds are no longer exempt from alternative minimum tax, which are exactly the kind of people who like to buy muni bonds. So there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, also, the thing is, the counties are not like the federal government. They can't just put more gasoline in the machine and crank out more money. I mean, they may have to get bailed out. Which, by the way, a lot of the audience doesn't know that I got my start in radio due to Ken. Which, by the way, my wife will never forgive you. But that's beside the point.
I better put the Kevlar vest on when I leave.
Exactly.
Ken, what is happening in the stock market these days? I mean, other than Apple, where's the good news in stocks?
A lot of them. In fact, all the things that we're told are supposed to be bad for you actually are the things going real well. Today, Yum Brands, that you know better as Long John Silver's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, its stock hit a record
Yum.
high. Yum, you got it.
Yum Brands.
Believe it or not, tobacco stocks. British Tobacco has hit a record high. By the way, record high. Forget making up ground lost since 2007. They're at record levels. So there are those companies that have managed to make money in this environment, and then we all know the story about the disasters. I mean, certainly when you look at retail, there's some retailers that are doing really well, and then there's retailers not doing well. So
Well, let me ask you: is it with regard to the Yum stocks, as you say?
Yum.
is it because of the? Do you think it's because of the economy being down so low that people decided to go the cheap route of food? I mean, or what do you attribute to? What do you think?
this is where it gets interesting. You have some people that that have not been affected by this, believe it or not. There are the one percenters, for lack of a better term, that are generally, yes, maybe their houses have lost some value, but they're not the people who went completely crazy with borrowing against their residences. They're doing fine. They have their jobs. I mean, when we hear all these terrible employment numbers, even in California, let's say that the unemployment rate is 12%. That means the opposite is true, that all those other people have jobs. Then you have the folks that were what we call the middle class that are having to do more belt tightening. You're right. They're going to go to a McDonald's or a Long John Silver's to go out to eat, or they're going to shop at a TJ Maxx. They're not going to shop at one of the higher end stores. So there has definitely been a shift in things. But it also goes to say that our economy is so diverse that there are always companies out there and products out there for anybody at any point in the social economic sphere.
I wonder if the hospitals are doing better, because some of those food places are not the most healthy places to eat. But
Well,
Well, then there's also the stress factor of people who are stressed out too that have to go to the hospital. So maybe they are doing pretty good.
that's true.
well, a lot of the, and of course, you know, if in fact Obamacare gets repealed, you have a lot of the medical companies that have a vested interest in having that be repealed and go back to the so-called way things were.
So talking about tech, we were talking about, Mark was mentioning Apple. So Apple and Google stocks have had a lot of attention, and obviously prices have gone really, really high. Is there still any money to be made in a play like that?
With Apple, it's really kind of funny. I have more talks with people about Apple and gold. I mean, I spend more time, and literally today, before I came over, just people calling say, I'm afraid the world's going to blow up, so I want to own Apple and gold.
I can understand
They want to
gold,
own
but-
Yeah, in the same category.
Exactly.
Is that a
No.
hedge against currencies?
Well,
Yeah.
at least their computers will. Well, no, they won't work.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different topic, but if you think about as empires change, in fact, a little trivia, if you think about the defeated empires of World War II, i.e. Germany and Japan and Italy, what are the last vestiges of those empires that survived? The companies. Think about it. The companies in Japan and Germany and Italy that were around way before the beginning of World War II were there after World War II, and they were major defense contractor for the Axis power. So isn't it funny that the companies have a way of surviving empires? They just have a way of, it's my only philosophical thought for the day. But here's the thing, that you have a situation where when people get emotionally attached to investment, you guys have seen this with properties. How many times do you find somebody who says, I love my home, I love my apartment building. I don't ever hear anybody say, I love my public storage locker, but maybe somebody does. But the point is,
I love what's in it, maybe.
I get concerned when we attach emotion to a stock. And in fact, I told some people, I said, there's probably some people that would adopt Apple as an extended member of their
Oh,
family.
absolutely.
Right.
But I've been around long enough to see that and hey, I own Apple. Apple's been, I've done well with it. My clients have done well with it. But I'm not in love with it. Every single one of these tech stocks has a point in time. For those of us who remember AOL, remember Microsoft, remember Yahoo, Sony, they all have their runs. And at some point, I wish Tim Cook the best. He's the new CEO who took over for Steve Jobs. I wish him well. But there's something to be said about those entrepreneurial spirits. And when Sam Walton died, and Walmart is not the company it was when Sam Walton was, when Herb Kelleher ran Southwest Airlines, it's not the same as it is now. It's not to say they're doing poorly. It's just saying that you lose that flavor. And it will be interesting to see how Apple is in the post-job.
Well, I'm
It
still
really will
waiting
be.
for my investment in the company that produced beta tapes to come back.
No, yeah, I don't think that's going to
That's
happen.
not gonna happen?
No, that's
Yeah.
way past.
Should I switch over to VHS now?
No.
Okay.
Maybe go in a time warp, Edward, invent the time machine.
I mean, Ken, what about index investors? Do you have any advice for those guys? Because
Extremely careful. It's funny. A lot of people still subscribe to the buy and hold theory, and I'm just saying, look, I don't know how many more years of pain you have to take. You've had 12 years of nothing, and
Ouch.
listen, I know you guys believe John Bogle is who's the founder of Vanguard and who's the big believer in buy and hold. But after two 50% corrections in the equity market, certainly the correction we've all seen in the housing market, if you are not now a believer of the idea that you have to, there's a point in time to take defensive action in your portfolio.
Yeah, otherwise you still own buggy whip companies.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to cut back. We're going to cut to our first commercial break. We're in the studio here with Ken Winans, president of Winans International, one of America's most respected and registered investment advisors. And here's our first commercial break. Here's our first trivia question. And again, the theme is The Wizard of Oz. What was the message? These are going to be a little harder than your average.
They're
you know,
always
like, what's
hard.
the name of the dog, right?
They're always hard.
Yeah, I know, because all he knows is NASCAR. Okay, what was the message the Wicked Witch of the West wrote in the sky? Do you remember that one? Okay, the first three
No.
callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Remember, she takes her broom, she writes something in the sky, and
That's right.
everyone looks in the sky.
Mark's
What-
smiling
what
like
did they
he
say?
knows,
Yeah,
huh?
he's been around for a while. Okay,
have two
and you win a free
daughters.
3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What was the message the Wicked Witch of the West wrote in the sky? 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, email address, and speak slowly and spell out your email address one letter at a time for us, please. And before we get back, or before we cut out, I got to say one thing about The Wizard of Oz, all right? There are two things about that movie that bug me. Do you remember when Dorothy is in the witch's castle and the witch tells her that as soon as the sand runs out of the hourglass that she's going to die? I always wondered when the witch left, as the sand was going down, why didn't you just turn it back over again? And when the witch comes back, you go, see, I still have another
Too
10 minutes
easy.
to go. Yeah. Okay, the other one was, remember Glinda, the good witch tells her, when, all you had to do was click your heels. She goes, why didn't you tell me that before? She goes, well, you wouldn't have believed me. And I would have said, yeah, try me. Of course I would have believed you. Okay, we will be right back. Excellent.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great, fun.
Fun, huh?
Absolutely.
I like how big you can see the numbers.
I know,
Sometimes
right?
You get some of these things you can
Got
barely
something here for
see.
you.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, this is my little thing that I know, okay, when this gets to around 8 or 9 minutes, Edward's going to do this any minute, so.
Oh, yeah.
Edwards, it's
He's
Hey,
great
that
to
was
see
that was
him.
probably your most flawless intro
Intro,
that
was
you've
it?
done yet.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes you get a little, you
I do.
usually have at least one tongue tie in there because you're saying it really fast and trying to get a lot of
There's
information.
a lot to say.
But
in
that
a
was
little short
actually
time
like
period.
flawless. I couldn't believe it.
Because you know what he said?